Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ember Cup part 2 video which I'm going to share today. And this video is consisting of 3 battle set with 3 different opponents over here for the Ember Cup. And for Ember Cup, as I've already mentioned in my past video as well, it is allowing electric, fire, grass, ground along with 8 wildcard entries and banning certain Pokemons along with Dragon, Rock, Steel, Mud Boys, Shadows and Megas. So I'll not elongate the introduction much, rather I'll be quickly jumping into the video over here to see how I perform in the Ember Cup for this rest of the battle. So moving into the first battle against Akshaya over here, who is using a team of Alolan Marowak, Hisuian Qwilfish, Piloswine, Poliwrath, Electrode and Jumpluff. So I'm going to try to catch a good lead over here, which I do with Poliwrath over here, and they went for the first avalanche, which I let it go and I called the bait correctly, to which now I'll be going for the next Scald over here. So Scald, if lands, will be dealing almost 80% damage, 90% damage rather, which does put the Piloswine in farm down range, and I can get the farm down over here with good amount of energy and HP stored with my Poliwrath. And now they comes back with their own Electrode over here. So I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch that might get the first shield from my opponent's end, which it does. And now from this kind of range, I'll be going for a CMP tie, and this is going to be the foul play, or maybe the discharge. But they went for the foul play, which I am fine with. But now I shield up and I'll be matching up on shields, and I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch that gets the final shield from my opponent's end. And now I have got a good response to my to the opponent Electrode over here, which is going to be my Gligar over here. So Gligar will be resisting those discharges and a neutral, doing neutral against the foul plays, and now they comes back with their own Poliwrath over here. But since I'm having sheer advantage, I'll be going for the next return to get a good amount of chip damage. Not chip, it's actually a very good damage over here, to which now I'll be going for the shield, my final shield onto the Scald, and I'll be going to get a hard farm onto the wing, onto the Poliwrath with wing attack, to which now they again have their own Electrode, which is kind of heavy, like heavy on HP health. But I'll be going for the next return that almost takes the Electrode out from that kind of range. But now they'll be going for a foul play or maybe a discharge. So foul play does not knock me out as well, and I'm able to reach to the next Night Slash just in time, which will ensure the knockout for the Electrode and will give me the win for the first battle against Akshaya. So GG's to my opponent and really well played. Moving into the next battle, I pick up a lead against my Qwilfish with Electrode, which is kind of a good lead, but I have to watch out for multiple discharges that might come in. So now I'll be building up to almost one Shadow Ball, but I'll be trying to shield up the first discharge just in time. But they went for resisted foul play. I'm not sure why they are going for resisted foul plays over here, and now I'll be going for a shield bait with Aqua Tail. So Aqua Tail might get the shield, which it does, which is really good for me. And now from this kind of range, I will be catching the next discharge onto my Piloswine over here, which does not do too much damage, and I have to bring out this this Poliwrath over here, which does insanely good against my backline of Marowak and Piloswine. So that is the reason I'll be going for the next highest horsepower that does get the shield, which somehow got invisible there. But I'm sure that it got the shield over here, to which now I will be coming back with my Qwilfish after running out the clock, which I do, and I'll be going for the next Shadow Ball, doing a CMP tie, which is really good because Hisuian Qwilfish does win over Poliwrath, and I'll be going for the Shadow Ball that does insane amount of damage. And to the next move, I do catch the next Dynamic Punch onto my Gligar over here, which does not deal too much damage. And let's see what my opponent have in the backline. They comes back again with their own Electrode, but I'm not happy to take one discharge or foul play with my Gligar, so I'll be going for the next Night Slash that does take it out. And let's see what my opponent have in the backline, which is going to be their own opposing Qwilfish, which is taking neutral damage with his wing attacks, but I have to shield up because one Aqua Tail will put me very low, but I don't want that. So that is the reason I'll be going for the next CMP tie, but they went for extra like poison jab, so I'll be going for the next return that ticks it out, and they have got a very low Poliwrath which does go down to wing attack, and I get the win for the second battle here as well. Moving into third battle, I pick up a lead against Poliwrath onto my Marowak. So now I'm in a tough situation, which I do catch a next Scald onto my Poliwrath, which is going to be a really good anticipation play from my end. So now the safe straps again into their jump love over here. So without Ice Punch, Poliwrath is just getting hard-walled by this jump love, and this is going to be the losing condition for me because I don't have like enough energy onto my own Marowak over here to get some kind of hard damage to it, which does one shot. But nevertheless, I will run out the switch clock and I'll be coming back with my own Marowak over here, and after landing the first Shadow Ball, which I think they will be letting it go, I'll be going for a hefty farm down onto this jump love over here. And since they got the defense drop as well, which I did not want it in this scenario because that gives me a less farm, but I have to shield up the next acrobatics over here as well, and now I'll be going for the hard farm. And their Poliwrath is kind of energy dry as well, so now I'll be going for the next Shadow Bone just in time before they could reach to the next Scald. So I have to watch out for this Poliwrath onto my Gligar, which does get the defense drop, which is necessary right now, and I'll be going for the next Shadow Ball once again. Shadow Bone actually, not Shadow Ball. So now I get both the shield from my opponent's end, but I have to go for my shield over here because I think of going for the next called next Shadow Bone, but I could not reach to that, which is kind of unfortunate for me, and that might end up getting the lose condition for me, which it is confirmed because they have got a Piloswine into their back, which does go for the next avalanche that will just vanquish my Gligar over here, and they will get the win for the third battle over here. So that is going to be a really good game. GG's. Moving into the second set, which I am playing with against Stoke135, who is running a team of Qwilfish, Charizard, Piloswine, Poliwrath, Electivire, and Surfetched. So to which I saw this opportunity to lead with my Marowak, which is kind of a good scenario until unless they ran into with Poliwrath, which is in this case is not the scenario. So I'll be safe swapping again since they safe swapped into their own Charizard, and this might be I think a Blast Burn that does so much damage to this bulky Gligar over here as well, and I'll be going for the next Night Slash. So Night Slash might get the knockout, so I'll be going for the undercharge over here, so that I can get a bit amount of energy, and which it does. So I'll be now going for the next Night Slash for a bit of chip damage with whatever they are coming in with. So I'll be waiting out, and they comes back again with their Hisuian Qwilfish. So which I am fine with because it does a bit of chip damage, but now I can come back with my own Marowak over here and get to the next Bone Club. So this Bone Club might get the first shield from my opponent's end, which it does, and they will be getting a good amount of extra farm with poison jabs onto my Marowak over here. So I'll be shielding up this Aqua Tail, and now I'll be switching out into my own Poliwrath over here that does take out the final Pokemon, which is going to be the Electivire, and now I have to go for the first Scald. So this Scald might get the first shield from my opponent's end, beg your pardon, the second shield, which it does, and their win condition over here is to go for a Ice Punch bait and go for the next Wild Charge, which I call perfectly, and now they CMP tied with me. So this is going to be a Wild Charge, which I'll shield, and I'll be going for the next Scald, which does guarantee its knockout because of the defense drop as well. So Scald though resisted, but due to the double defense drop onto this Electivire will take it out, and from this kind of range I can easily go for the next Scald, but they will be going for the Dark Pulse that gets a knockout for me. But I have got a loaded Marowak that just comes in and fire spins down the Qwilfish getting me the win for the first battle. GG's. Moving on to the second battle, I pick up a lead against Poliwrath, which is very good for me because this is the thing that I have to worry about against my backline, because I am having Piloswine and Marowak with me. So that core breaks my backline over here. So that is the reason I'll be going for the first dynamic punch, and after building up to a bit of extra energy, I will be catching the next dynamic punch onto my Marowak. So that is going to be a really good catch from my end once again, which does a very little amount of damage, and let's see what they have into their backline. So they will be trying to catch a move, but they goes for it, which I thought incorrectly. So they will be going for the next call. That's going to get the first shield from me, and now I'll be going for the next Bone Club. So because of the attack drop, this Bone Club will not be able to get the knockout, and I have to farm it down with Fire Spin, which is not going to be the case because I have to double shield, because this call will just take me out. So that is the reason I have to double shield my Marowak to give myself switch, and I'm very happy that my Piloswine does not have to face this Poliwrath over here. So I'll be going for the next Shadow Bone over here. That's going to get the first shield, but not in this case because of the attack drop. I think they have let it go, but they thought this to be a Bone Club, and now they will be going for a next move, which ends up being Avalanche and does not even take me out. So that is the reason I'll be going for the next Shadow Bone just in time, and which gets their Piloswine very low, and I can come back again with my own Piloswine to get the heart farm onto this. So they recognize that I will be getting the heart farm on their very low Piloswine, so that is the reason they again switched back into their own Qwilfish over here. But Qwilfish does really good against Piloswine once again because of shield advantage. So I'll be letting the first Dark Pulse. They end up going for a Dark Pulse over here that does not take me out, and now I'll be going for the next Avalanche. So Avalanche will get the final shield from my opponent's end because they have got a very low Piloswine onto their back. But they did get a very hard farm onto the Piloswine of my Piloswine, so that is the reason I have to come back with my Poliwrath, and I have to tank this Dark Pulse as well. So Dark Pulse does not even knock me out, and I will be going for the next Dynamic Punch that will eventually get the knockout for the Qwilfish, and I can easily farm down the next very low Piloswine that just comes in and get the win for the second battle. So GG's. Moving into the third battle, I pick up a lead against a kind of good lead over here with Surfaced, because Surfaced also core breaks my Piloswine and Poliwrath backline over here, to which now I'll be going for the next Shadow Bone over here that they caught onto their Poliwrath over here, which I am fine with because now they will be going for a hard like energy farm down. They cannot farm me down actually, but they will be going for so much extra energy, so that I have to go for the next Shadow Bone, which does put the Poliwrath very low, and they have to go for the next called. So they have to spend the energy to take me out, and now I have kind of a good thing because I will be coming back with my Poliwrath, and I'll be getting a hard farm onto this. So bigger pardon, I come back with my own Piloswine, and I'll be getting the hard farm on it, which I have to shield up this called as well. And now let's see what they comes back in with. So again they comes back with their Surfaced over here, which is going to be a really tough situation for me because I have to somehow manage both the shields and the Surfaced as well. So now they'll be going for the next Leaf Blade that does take me out, and now they comes back again with their own Qwilfish over here. So Qwilfish, I have to go for the first called over here because I want to get the attack drop in this scenario, and they shields up the Qwilfish once again. And I'm quite sure that they are running Aqua Tail and Dark Pulse and not Shadow Ball, but somehow I end up shielding the Dark Pulse as well, which I thought might be a Shadow Ball as well, but I completely misjudged it, and I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch over here that does take the Qwilfish out. And now from this kind of range is going to be a very close call. So that is the reason I will be going for the first call, and I think they were just one counter away for the next Leaf Blade, to which I get the win for the third battle over here as well. So GG's. Moving on to the third set over here against JayMuni19, who is actually a very good uh, battler over here. So I'll be trying to catch the next first Leaf Blade onto my Marowak, which I do perfectly. And now the Safe Saps against Safe Sap again into their own Qwilfish over here. So Qwilfish in this meta, Qwilfish, Poliwrath, alolanmarowak is kind of a very good safe swap in this meta, and Surfetch's lead is so much tough to handle because it does have access to Night Slash and Leaf Blade, which does take out my Piloswine, my Poliwrath, my Marowak over here as well. So it's kind of a code breaker for this team, but I end up shielding the next Night Slash and get the farm down onto the Qwilfish over here, which is going to be nice. So I wanted the shield advantage. I wanted to give up switch. I don't want to give up switch over here. So that is the reason I'll be going to. They will be going to throw the next Dragon Claw over here with their Charizard, and I do live with 1 HP and a Dream. And I'll be able to reach to the next Bone Club, which will be doing a bit of chip damage, not very much, but it's still going to be good. To which now I'll be coming back with my own Poliwrath over here, and I'll be going for the next Scald. So this Scald will end up getting the first shield from my opponent's end, which I'm quite sure with, because they don't want this very healthy Charizard to go down with shield advantage. So that is the reason I'll be letting this next charge move go through once again, which ends up being a Dragon Claw and does not take me out even as well. And now I'll be going for the next Scald. So this Scald will definitely guarantee the knockout for this Charizard, but they end up shielding the Charizard as well, to which now I'll be going for the next switch in, which I have to bring my Gligar with it, and they now goes for a Blast Burn, which I will shield up. And let's see what they have got into their backline, which ends up being the Surfaced once again. So this is not a great call from my end, because I went for the hard-hitting move of Return, so I could have farmed up a bit of extra energy, and now they will be going for the next Blast Burn. So this Blast Burn will get my Gligar very low, maybe knock it out as well, and they can easily get the farm down with Wing Attack, and I do lose the first game over here. So GG's to my opponent, is really well played and a very good team combination over here. To which now I'll be moving into the next game with my Marowak over here against their Qwilfish, and I'll be going for the next Bone Club. So this Bone Club will put the Hisuian Qwilfish quite low, and I have to shield up the first move because they had enough energy for a Shadow Ball, which ends up being a Shadow Ball, and now I can get the farm down. But this is going to be the missed opportunity from my end for a farm down, because I went for a Bone Club to guarantee my switch advantage. So that is the reason I have to again go for the next. I have to go for the next catch, which I terribly failed over here. So I thought of catching a Scald again onto my Poliwrath, but they hold on to the energy so good that they mistimed it. So I mistimed it actually, which is a very good play from my end. And now from this kind of range, I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch. So Dynamic Punch does land, and they will be going for the next Dynamic Punch onto my Poliwrath. And let's see what they have onto their back over here against my Gligar over here. So now I'll be waiting out the switch clock, and I'll be going to come back again with my Marowak over here. I'll be going for the bait once again with this Bone Club. So this Bone Club does not even get the shield and get the knockout, which is not going to be good. And now they will be going for the next call that will be hitting very hard. So that is the reason I have to shield up my own Gligar once again, and the final Pokemon is going to be a double shielded Charizard, which is not great because they can go for Dragon Claw or maybe Blast Burn to even get me out, which is going to be insanely good for my opponent JayMuni, which is going to be terribly heartbreaking for me. And they go for the Blast Burn that almost takes me out, but nevertheless they have two shields onto their end, and they can easily farm my own Poliwrath, my own Gligar, and my Marowak over here, to which I'll be going for the next Bone Club. So Bone Club does get the shield, but they will be eventually going for the next Dragon Claw or maybe Blast Burn, which does eventually get the knockout for me, and that was a 2-0 over here with Jay. So really well played. Moving on to the third battle, which is going to be the final battle of the set, the video and the tournament as well with my team over here. So I'll be catching a lead with Charizard onto my Marowak, which is really good because they went for the first Blast Burn over here. Now I'll be going for the first move of Shadow Bone. So Shadow Bone does put the Charizard quite low, and since the CMP tied over here, so I will be letting this charge move go through, and now I'll be coming back again with my own Qwilfish over here to get a farm down, which I do get over here, and this is going to be kind of good for me because energy on Qwilfish is kind of scary. To which now let's see what they have into their backline. So they comes back with their own Qwilfish once again, but since I'm having energy lead, this is going to be advantageous for me. So I'll be going for the first Aqua Tail, which my opponent does let it go, but it does not matter to them because yeah, it's already 2-0, so it's fine. So in point system, it is good that you keep up all the points and not letting the third battle if you have won these first two battles as well. To which now I'll be going for the next Aqua Tail once again, and the final Pokemon which is going to be their Surface, and my final Pokemon is going to be a Poliwrath. So again, they anticipated my team over here because I don't have a hard answer to the Surface over here, because which core breaks my own Piloswine, Poliwrath and Marowak as well, and it has does some play against the Gligar also because Leaf Blade does hit for neutral damage. To which now I'll be shielding up the next Leaf Blade once again, and I'll be going for the next Scald just in time, which does get the final shield from my opponent's end, and my switch clock is not back up, which is going to be costly for me because they got one more Scald onto their very low Qwilfish, which is again a very good call from their end. And now from this kind of range, they have loaded up to back-to-back Leaf Blades, so that will take out my Poliwrath and my Qwilfish over here, and it will be a very good game to Jay over here, which ends up being superbly well for them. So thanks for watching this video. That will be all for this video, and see you again in the next one. Till then, peace.